situated. Ironically, I had an old video. Y'all got to forgive me. This old. Man, it's early in the morning. I ain't realized 10 o'clock in the morning, so that's 7 o'clock California time. Let me see here. This. Oh man, I'm on the car Wi-Fi, so I don't even know if I'm on. Let me see. Don't know if I'm connecting on here yet. If you got me on here, cause I got my car Wi-Fi on, so y'all forgive me, cause sometimes I don't know if it how strong it is. I'm at the soccer field. My son plays in an hour, so pretty sure my wife will be coming back to the car in a little bit to get chairs and stuff. But I wanted to pop on here because I had so many people writing me this week, and I totally forgot. I didn't get to film a video yesterday, but it was so many people writing me about the Judge Mathis divorce. And one of the things about from being a matchmaker by default as a relationship coach, sometimes I end up having to do matchmaking. And so what it has taught me is kind of how to read people and able to see looks compatibility. And Judge Mathis and his wife are very looks compatible. Like they are equals. And I think it said they've been married 39 years, but that's what I talk about when I'm telling you, like, every next level. Like, a lot of times people say, oh, well, I only want to listen to people who've been married 10 years. Or only want to listen to people who've been married 20 years or 30 years or 40 years. But every level has new devils. Now, one thing I can tell as a man and being able to read men is that Judge Mathis is no pushover. And one of the things that most men struggle with, especially black men, is how we talk to people. And I am terrible at it. You know, it's people who are blocked and have to stand outside the club will tell you that I ripped them to shreds before I blocked them. And that's a fault that we have. And I've had to learn that in my own marriage of how to talk to my wife. But the thing about it is some of us as men who we are just straight shooters and we're super direct. And them words can hurt. And we talk to everybody like that. We talk to white men like that. We talk to black men like that. We talk to white women like that. We talk to black women like that. We talk to dogs like that. We talk to the birds like that. We talk to everybody like that other than God. And that is a flaw. And so what I can perceive from the outside looking in is that in order to go through a divorce and the woman filed for divorce and she asking for spousal support is how she was being treated. Now, yes, Judge Mathis is young enough to get on some Viagra and get that thing standing up and be able to put some meat leg on another woman. So you don't know if it was infidelity in there, but the lesson is that you never done working. No matter how much work you have done, you are never done working. I asked my wife last night, we've been married 17 years. I said, baby, how you feeling? She said, good. I said, you happy? She said, yeah. I said, you happy with our marriage? She said, yeah. And I say, you ain't lying to me, is it? She was like, no. I was like, so you happy with our marriage? She was like, yeah. And I was like, why you looking like that? Because she was starting to like kind of like almost pant. She was like, I'm just worried about what you finna say. Like, are you happy? And I was like, no, I'm just checking on you. I'm asking you, are you happy with our marriage? She was like, I was like, if you weren't happy, would you tell me? She was like, yeah, I would tell you. Like, or would you just hold it in? And she was like, you would know. I said, I don't think you'll tell me. I was like, I said, but I think your energy and your attitude would change. She was like, exactly, you would know if I wasn't happy. And so I was like, okay, cool. Because that's how my wife is. She's never said, hey, we need to talk. She's not that type of person. But her energy, if she's not happy about something, her energy will shift. And I could tell. So on the outside looking in, when we look at couples, we never know what's going on behind closed doors. And that is why, and I'll tell you this, no one, including your parents, should ever be your relationship goals. Because no matter what, you are always comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel. There are so many people who say, my parents have been married for 40 years. But what people don't understand is just because someone has been married for 40 years, it doesn't mean that they're happy. It doesn't mean that there's been complete faithfulness. It doesn't mean that there's never been abuse, or that there's never been like any form of abuse, verbal, emotional, physical, financial, social, whatever type of abuse. It doesn't mean that that hasn't existed. Even when it is your father that you know and love, even when it's your mother that you know and love, and they look happy, you don't know what they had to work through if they did not tell you. Because one thing about parents is parents don't tell children every single detail. They will tell you enough, and they will put it in words like, hey, marriage isn't easy. And one of the things that I learned from this Judge Mathis thing, and people always say, hey, Tony, will you have your wife do a video? Will you have your wife, come and talk to us and tell us, how she did it and how this and that? And I always say, my wife has no desire to do that. Like, if you go on my wife's TikTok, it's her name, Cherie Gaskins, and her Instagram is Cherie Gaskins. She posts every week. She posts about every day. She just posts her life. When you look at it, it just look like what y'all call soft life, which I always say is no such thing as a soft life. If you got a soft life, somebody got a hard life. So I got a hard life so that my family can have a soft life. And one of the things that I noticed, I was just watching the E-News report on it versus another content creator talking about it. And they said that they expressed that Judge Mathis, and y'all got to forgive me if I call him Judge Joe Brown sometimes, you know who I'm talking about. Because even right now, I can't remember if the man named Judge Mathis or Judge Joe Brown. But I think it's Judge Mathis, correct? It's Judge Mathis. But even that, they said that on their 2022 docu-series, they expressed about their marriage and how, like, you can have highs and lows and you can have some dips in it. But what did I just say the other day for the people who watched all of the videos? I was talking about how nobody goes on television with their relationship and makes it out on the other side. The only couple that I can think of that has gone on television to showcase their relationship and make it out, make it long term, is Rev Run and his wife. That's the only people. Like, other than that, I can't think of nobody. Even on the white side with Hulk Hogan and his wife, even with the lady with the 8 kids and the man about the 8 kids, Kate and 8, they went through a divorce. And here she is, a white woman with an Asian man. They went through a divorce. And then you have Hulk Hogan them went through a divorce. And when y'all, all the housewives shows, all the people who go on there go through a divorce. So marriage is a job. Like, love is a job that you cannot, that's my quote, where I say love is a job that you cannot retire from. People sometimes think that if I get married, I'm good till death do us part. Or if I get through 5 years, or if I get 10 years, or if I get to 20 years, you are never safe in marriage because you are human and human emotions change. And I don't know, do any of y'all know, if somebody said something about DB? DB just talking. I'm gonna let him live. Do any of y'all know if Judge Mathis' show got canceled? Did Because I don't know if his show is still on. And but things change over time. So, and that's why I try to tell y'all women too, who want an older man. It's a lot of people who want a lot of women who want an older man. That older man is, okay, it's still on. It could be reruns though, because sometimes they got rights, and so they'll show it forever. Here's somebody who, no, 2023 was the last season. Not sure if they are renewing it. It was brought back on a streaming app. It wasn't canceled. He retired. He too young to retire from TV, so he retired because it was canceled. That you don't walk away from millions of dollars. This doggone bird done hopped on my car. Bird on top of my car. Something happened in this car too. My wife said she spilled some milk in here the other day. Bird might doggone smell it. And so, but that right there, that affects a man. So one thing about it is, I don't know what menopause does to a woman, but you may go through some things. Men have their own version of menopause, and men have midlife crisis. Now, Judge Mathis, he's still, oh, y'all watch the bird fly off. He still is young looking, like they say, black don't crack. He still look young. But also, things change over time. So if a man is not completely wrapped in and locked in with his faith, he could end up drifting. And if y'all notice, a lot of men that's Judge Mathis' age, when they hit midlife crisis, or they hit a life crisis, because it ain't midlife, because he can cross that halfway mark now. He even live a whole another 60 years or however long it is. 55 years he done live, however old he is. So it ain't mid now. Might be what you call that, 3/4 of a life crisis. So at that point, you notice a lot of men in that age group, they start to desire old PYT, pretty young thing. And a lot of women, unless they come from a fitness background, or they like come from this super healthy lifestyle, they're gonna have meat on their bones. They're gonna have rolls, and they're gonna have flaps, and they're gonna have cellulite, and their body gonna be different. But at that level of money, having millions, a man like Judge Mathis with millions can get one of these knotty head, gold digging 20 something year olds, 30 something year olds, 40 something year olds. Judge Mathis can get any woman that he want just because of having money. That also, when a man stopped working, y'all say he retired. When a man stopped working, he will take, and that changes his mindset. That changes his life, because that right there can throw you off. And so you have to understand that Yeah, I'm up because I'm at the soccer field. So you got to understand that, and if she filed for divorce now, a woman, could she want something else? She could, but that just really ain't a woman. Like a woman, especially a black woman who met a man in college, on the college campus, and been with her 39 years old, there's this narrative that a woman will leave a man for happiness. When a woman got many millions and she got this man and he knows she could possibly get half, that woman could stay in that marriage and be happy if he treating her right. A black woman not fixing to leave a man after 39 years of marriage and got 4 adult kids if she being treated right. That's not gonna happen. Cause you gotta understand, we were 400 years slaves. We built to withstand pressure. We built to withstand hardship. So that's why I tell people, just cause somebody been married 20 years, 30 years don't mean they marriage good. Look how long we were slaves before we started trying to revolt, before we started trying to run away. So a woman can endure. And the thing about it is sometimes a woman can endure. She said they broke up in July. Sometimes a woman can endure a man. So Judge Mathis could have been the same man since she met him. But when she was young, he could have been being nice to get her and to get in good. And Judge Mathis' wife is beautiful. She's a beautiful lady, and even at her age, like black don't crack, like she's still beautiful. So you can only imagine how beautiful she was at a young age when she was in her college shape, her college vitality. If she's still beautiful and vital in her 50s or 60s, I don't know how old they are. Any of y'all know how old they are? And is it 27 years married or 39 years? Because I thought somebody go to Google real quick and Google it. I thought they said 39 years. I don't know if it's 39 years of being together or what it is. She's 61. So she beautiful. Yeah, okay, 39 years. She beautiful at 61. And you could tell that she has the type of genetics and the type of skin and hair and personal care. She gonna be beautiful her whole life. Like she not, cause if you got the genetics that you finna go down, you finna start going down in your 50s. So for her to still be fresh faced and still pretty, that lets you know at 18 to 22, Judge Mathis say they met on a college campus. At 18 to 22, listen, it probably was one of the baddest things stepping on that campus. And so what we do as men, we nice. We got to get a woman in. We got to get a woman hooked. And they say that it said either 12 or 17 years or something. It said, I think the number was 12 to 17 years before Judge Mathis hit it big. Now, I believe he was able to hit it big because he was smart enough to find a woman in college. So he got a woman in college, and when you have a woman, you have accountability. So it's not that he couldn't cheat, because he could have cheated and he could have done some stuff with other women if he wanted to and not get caught. And he could have been caught a few times with different little stuff. Like we all, not when I say all, not every single man, but most men get caught doing something that our woman doesn't approve of, and she forgives it. And she moves on because she's just like, hey, I'm gonna have to go through this with any man anyways. So I might as well just try to work with this man who got at least 70, 80% or 90% what I'm looking for. Let me work through this. And so what you have to realize is He was able to become a judge because he had that woman, because that brings stability and it brings accountability. So then he become a judge. They build all of this together. But sometimes when a man builds something and when we become millionaires, we get beside ourselves. And you listening to a millionaire, so I know the change that I went through when I went from a dollar heir to a thousandaire to 100,000 to a millionaire. You change. People say money don't change you, but that's people who ain't never had more money. Money does change you. That's why the Bible say the love of money is the root of all evil. And it ain't that you done always been that person. That's just a cute quote. But money changes you, because it changed what you could buy. It changed what you could eat. It changed where you can go. It changed how you treat it. It changed how you seen. It changed who approaches you. It changed who deal with you. It changed what people want from you. So a man who come into millions can become a totally different man. And that man can become somebody that that woman does not recognize. But when a man is working, a man can be away. So when he's away 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, that gives that woman time to invest in herself. It gives that woman time to read, to pray, to meditate, to walk, to talk to friends, to talk to family. So she the woosah all day. Now y'all say he took and he y'all say he took and got retired. He retired last year. So if a man retire now, he feels purposeless. Now what y'all don't know about the industry is when someone has been doing something for a long time, the job will allow you to say you're retiring so that you don't have to say you've been fired or you've been canceled. So they will allow you to call it retirement instead of calling it firement. So he so just because his show still air, somebody say his show still air, that don't mean he's working. That don't mean he's filming. That could be reruns. People who know what they talking about say he retired in 2023. So if he retired in 2023, then he ain't working the same. When we stop working, then we get to a place to where if we feel like we done lost our purpose or we ain't doing something that we love to do or that we used to do, that could change our attitude. That could change the way we talk. And so you have to understand that this right here, it shifts you. And somebody say, yeah, he no longer recording. Yes, but he and his son have a show. That's different, because I ain't never heard of the show. So guess what that means? Dun dun dun. Doo doo doo. Doo. That's that show there. We know about the Judge Mathis show. I ain't heard nothing about him and the Sean show. So that lets you know that's a fall off. And the thing about it is, you know, you have the thing about it is you have, even like with Steve Harvey, he had the Steve Harvey show, lost that show. Now he on an app. He on an app. The app, it recruited me for months to join the same app. Guess who on the app? Steve Harvey and Iyanla Vanzant. They want me to do a show on the app. I turned it down because I didn't like the deal. It didn't make sense. It don't make sense for me at this time. I'm like, y'all got two people on there in their 60s who had global television shows that was canceled. So that's who the app is for right now. I'm still on my rise. The app ain't for me. And so I turned the app down. Steve Harvey and Iyanla Vanzant is on the app. But guess what? When a man lose something, that hurt us. We lose sleep. That affects us. We go through a mini depression. Like, we start to lash out, and we will hurt the person who love us the most. We'll hurt the person who love us the most. If Steve Harvey, God bless him, God bless his marriage. Even though it's his third one, I'm still hoping the best for it. But if he don't keep working, if his stuff don't keep going good, if he don't stay paid, Him and Marjorie could go through a divorce just like Judge Mathis and his wife. That's what you have to understand about marriage, is you never know the behind the scenes. Like this morning, I woke up and I woke up to a family member asking me for money, who in the last 30 days, I've already given $3,000 to. So I've already given $3,000 to a family member who I woke up to a text from asking for more money so they could pay their bills on Monday. And I'm like, what did you do with the 3,000 cash dollar raise, the net rolls that I gave you in the last 30 days? So guess what? While I'm dealing with that and I'm going off, that affect my marriage. Because my wife was talking to me and I'm ignoring her because I'm going off in this text message. And then my wife comes up to me and she grabbed my face. She grabbed my face with both hands and she say, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" Yes, crazy videos. I'm a million now. To God be the glory. And are you okay? And I was like, "Oh, sorry. I was sending this message." I said, "You see how long this message is?" I said, "I was sending this message." And then she pulled my arm and said, "Stand up." She said, "Give me a hug." And I hugged, and when I hugged, I exhaled. And when I exhaled, she was like, "Okay, take another deep breath." So then I took another deep breath. So as men, we internalize. When we lose money, or when we lose influence, or when we lose impact, or we lose celebrity, or we lose significance, or we lose purpose, we take that out on the person or the people who love us the most. And I guarantee you, the shift of the energy, that's all it is, or it could be, and the shift of an energy could lead to infidelity. But see, here's the thing. Judge Mathis' wife, and it's not to say that she won't come out and do interviews and talk about it, but Judge Mathis' wife, they put she put irreconcilable differences. She didn't put from adultery. She didn't put from abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse. She put irreconcilable differences. That's just a little broad term that people use. So what she doing right now is she saying, "I'm not going to put y'all in our business. I'm not going to out what happened in our relationship." And so we don't know. We don't know if he cheated, or if he got abusive, or if she cheated, or she got abusive, or if she met somebody new, or we don't know. But what we do know from this is that you can never compare your relationship to somebody else's relationship that you do not live with 24 hours a day. You should never have another couple as your relationship goals. You should never base your love life off of what happens in somebody else's love life. And you should never compare your behind the scenes to somebody else's highlight reel. Also, another lesson from this divorce after 39 years of them being together is, and Oscar, you don't know what you're talking about, because adultery and abuse could be options. And yes, irreconcilable could be due to infidelity. It's just her not telling business. And what a lot of people don't understand, what is black women, on average, you have black women protect their man. Black protect their man. A lot of people don't understand that about black women. Because just like I was talking about the other day, what have you heard from Keon Henderson, the pastor? What have you heard from his ex-wife? Nothing. What have you heard from Torrey Roberts' ex-wife? Nothing. And both of these women got left for their man to go get with a celebrity who got millions, who make millions. And them women have not. Black women protect. It's black women right now that could be doing tours about me from my past. But guess what? They not doing them tours. Black women protect they men. Look at even women like Black China. She ain't even did no tour. And this is somebody who is like a model or something. Did you text me something?
Yeah.
Okay, was it important?
No, I'm gonna walk over there to the restroom.
Okay, cool. This is somebody who was a exotic dancer, and she ain't even did no expose. The only black woman we know that have really done a real expose is Corinne Steffens, who they call Superhead. So the thing about it is we may never know the inner workings of what happened with Judge Mathis' marriage, because on average, black women protect black men. How do you think we just now, what do we know about Martin Luther King? Coretta didn't tell us. Do you think Coretta didn't know? Who had to tell us about Martin Luther King and the way he lived his life with the orgies and all of that he had going on? Who had to tell us about that? The CIA. The CIA, they done did that documentary now, and they releasing the transcripts from the CIA and the FBI, whichever one it was, I think it was CIA, recording his, bugging his hotels, bugging his house, bugging stuff, bugging his hotel rooms, and hearing stuff. So you have to think about that and realize that a lot of times, see there, look at here, Jennifer and Erica, y'all didn't even know that about MLK. That's what, but it's documentaries on it. Go watch the documentary on now it's black people. The black lady who produced Love and Basketball produced the MLK and Malcolm X documentary that's on Hulu or Prime. But I think it's a more real one on Netflix. So they try not to disparage his name. But they show you the transcripts, and they show you how the CIA was trying to get other black ministers to expose MLK for being a hypocrite. And that's why I try to tell y'all, like, when in America, this intelligence system is very complex. The Central Intelligence Agency is very complex. And that, so we sound crazy, but I honestly think my phone tapped. But now they got apps to where regular people could tap your phone. So anybody who could hold my phone, who has ever held my phone, could have a thing on my phone right now. Like, my phone only work on speakerphone. I can't even put the phone to my ear because that mic right there is taken. And so that made me think my phone tapped. That every one of my texts, I even tell my wife, I'll be like, baby, I don't want to text about like personal stuff. Like, I'll talk to you in person, because all our text messages could be being read. Because if they could tap MLK in the 60s, what you think they could do in 2024? And I just was watching something last night. It ain't about the CIA tapping phone. And what you don't realize, Christian Tology, because you young and dumb, so shut up, is that with the CIA, I have 3.5 million followers online. So if I can start a movement, if they believe they have people who are living in caves with internet, and they get people on the internet to join a cell, and those people join a cell and they go do what that young white boy tried to do to Donald Trump. So these people know that if you have a following or you have influence, you can actually become a terrorist. You can start a movement, just like in the Malcolm X movie when he throw his finger like that. Now that could or could not have happened. But what did the white cop say in the movie? He said no one man should have all that power. And so that's why Kanye put it in his song. That's why, the same way what the man said, NBA YoungBoy, there are men who are taking lives. There are men who taking lives who they taking lives from music. So they understand the power of a messenger. They understand the power of a voice. They understand that one person could upend a government if they have the right amount of people. Because think about it. Somebody could lead something and they could brainwash somebody to go do what somebody was brainwashed to do to take Malcolm X's life, to take Martin Luther King's life, to take Medgar Evers' life. So that's my point with that right there. So nobody is ever too small to be surveilled by the CIA, because if you have a voice. And that's why I had a video on Facebook that was entitled "Stop Praising Boyfriends." The video got over 10 million views and Facebook removed it because I had too much power. I had too much reach. The video reached so many people that it got flagged so many times from haters that even though it was a harmless message of saying stop praising boyfriends, Facebook deleted the video. And I was reaching on Facebook 20 million people a week. They had insights that show you when you post a quote, how many people you reach a week. So I was reaching 20 million people a week. I went on vacation and did not post at all for 10 days. And in the week that I was gone, my posts reached 10 million people. So Facebook changed the algorithm and cut the reach from 56% of your audience to 2% of your audience because we was reaching too much people. It was taking too much bandwidth and it was giving us too much power. Because my post organically could reach 20 million people a week, my income went up over 2,500% in 2014 to 2016. They cut my reach from 80 million people a week to 80 million people a month to 2 million people a month to try to get me to pay to boost to the other 78 million. But what they didn't realize is I don't care about reach. So they didn't get a dime from me other than when I was promoting a tour stop. So this what you have to think about is you have to understand that when men start to go through stuff and start to change and start to make millions or lose millions, all of that shift the way we see ourselves, and it shift the way that we take and talk to people. It shifts the way that we treat somebody. So the thing about it is a midlife crisis could kill a marriage. It could kill a marriage. And so that's what you have to understand. That's what you got to realize. And you got to realize that. Christentology, you in time out for 24 hours. You in here putting nonsense in the chat. I just had to block another fool on here. And so that's what you have to understand. And here's the thing. You can't lose hope when you see somebody go through a divorce. Because the thing about it is you don't know what they had going on behind closed doors. You don't know what was happening. So it could have been no love. It could have been toxic love. And so you'll be looking at something and you'll be like, man, okay, man, this hurts so bad. They going through a divorce after all this time. Not realizing that the love could have been thin as a toothpick. And now when a real test come, when you empty nesters, when you retire, now it's just face to face. Now you don't have all the career distractions all the money distractions, all of that stuff is just face to face. And that shifts things. So the crisis in life that women go through, that men go through at that certain age, depression, people go through depression, and that right there can shift something. I read a report, an article about how 15 million women a year go through depression for no reason. It was saying that that 15 million a year go through depression, and when the women report, it has nothing to do with their husband, have nothing to do with their job, have nothing to do with their kids. It is an internal. Now, for those of us who are Christian, we know that was put on women from the beginning of time. When the sin was introduced in the Garden of Eden, a curse was put on women then. Not in the sense of like a curse, but like you need God to get through. You need God to live. Like you need God for peace in the midst of the storm. And I notice it as a man who has 95% women on my YouTube, that I deal with so many women who are in the free world, but in my opinion, could be in a group home. I deal with a lot of women who I feel like should not have a driver's license, should not be living alone, should not be just out and about, that they should be supervised and they should be in a home. I get messages from so many women that I'm like, wow, you drive a car, like you live alone, like you're out here, and you have like the mind is deteriorated. And I think the deterioration comes from being alone. Because if a human is not created to be alone, so if a human don't join groups, join life groups, join organizations, and like get out the house, like if you are single and you live alone, you should be out the house 4 days a week. You should be in groups. You need to get on meetup.com and sites like that. You need to get on eventbrite.com, and you need to go out of the house. You cannot just go to work and go home, or you cannot just work from home and stay home. You got to get out and get active. You need to go in nature. You need to climb, hike, walk. You need to see birds. You need to see animals. You need to see all this different stuff. You got to get out the house. You got to live. And then you got to make sure you fueling your body. You got to make sure you fueling your body with the right things. Because if you metabolically unhealthy, because you eating cake and cookies and all this diet coke, or all of this coke and all of this different stuff, you doing all of that right there, that'll send you into a depression. A woman could ruin a marriage, a man could ruin a marriage, and it could be because of what you eating, what you watching, what you listening to. And what you got to realize, if somebody get the internet, if somebody got Instagram, if somebody got TikTok, if somebody got YouTube, there are so many negative messages and there's so many negative videos that's out there for women and out there for men, that if you're not careful, and if you go through something in your marriage and you're not careful and you're not paying attention, you will literally destroy your marriage. You will destroy your marriage because of what you are watching and listening to, that got you feeling like you're a victim, that got you feeling like you deserve more without giving more, and all of those things. And so you have to think about that and be mindful of that. So understand that right there. Y'all give me 1 second, mute this, talk to my wife. But hey, got to go. So if you miss any of this, watch it back again. Getting ready for the game, and my wife says she want me to go out there with her right now too. So got to go when wives speak. But that's how you keep your marriage together. But God bless you. And later tonight, before a fight come on, y'all know Floyd Mayweather fighting, and the same thing what I was just saying. Floyd Mayweather retired. Guess what he had to do? His butt been fighting more retired than he fought when he was active, because he still got to bring that money in. He still got to feel purpose, and he ain't even married. So that's what I'm trying to tell you too with this situation with Judge Mathis is it could be a midlife crisis, depression on his part or her part or both of their part. And that right there will destroy your marriage if you're not working on yourself and eating right and living right and reading right and watching right and listening right. Hey, God bless you. We'll talk soon. Let's see. Tell you later. You got to watch